Thank you for tuning in to The Real Tea with T3. My name is Tisha Harris from Texas Trio Team. We have an amazing jam-packed episode if you're wanting to know about mental health and physical fitness. So we'll go around and introduce ourselves. Who are you and what keeps you busy these days?
So I'm Kendra Gentges with Texas Trio Team, and who are we with?
Jay from Brenham Fitness.
Yay.
I'm new.
Oh, yeah. So are we good? Okay. Sorry, we're having like technical difficulties. We were just talking like the weather is like really cruddy and it's really freaking cold, and Texas, you know, we're just not used to this. So as we dive into kind of what keeps you busy, what got you down the path that you're on as far as helping people with their physicality and keeping their mental health straight?
It's a loaded question only because the answer is so loaded.
We love loaded here.
I think it goes all the way back though from like even my childhood and things like that. You know, I'm Middle Eastern, so like we eat a lot, like a lot. And growing up, I was overweight, you know, and it was just kind of the norm. And then when I got a little bit older, it was like, okay, I want to get on a better path of eating. Let me kind of lose some weight. And then I became obsessive, like over it. I got in a relationship with somebody that wasn't really quite right for me, and I ended up being anorexic and bulimic.
Really?
Yeah. So like, I mean, it was years of me trying to learn like what is my value as a person, I guess. And then I found love in the gym. Once I got better, you know, it was kind of relearning my body. And I love it. I mean, I don't know. It's saved me. Working out has saved me.
Mm-hmm. I think I say it all the time that as far as like individuals, like you have to have a breakdown to have the breakthrough. And so it sounds like you had that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember the moment that it was?
I do. When I was in this relationship, I would go, I mean, I was so underweight at this point. So I think the extremities of being overweight and then underweight, I was an extremist on both. I was actually hospitalized. You know, I was binge eating at night, therefore making myself, you know, I would purge, and then all day I wouldn't eat anything, but run like 7 miles a day, work out twice a day. I mean, size 000, you know.
Why was that something like because of your peers or social media, or what was it that you were like, I want to be that thing, but I'm not that thing?
The person that I was with.
Yeah.
Social media though wasn't even around when I started working
Mm-hmm.
out. So it was kind of like old fashioned. Like I actually had a trainer when I was in high school, and he became a really good friend of mine. And I thought, this is cool. So that was where I was healthy. And it was when it was 19 to 21 that I was just kind of just went straight down. Because when I first lost my weight, I didn't really know who I was. It's weird. Like your identity is involved.
You're still that person.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, body dysmorphia is real. So dating this person, like I felt my worth was if I look like this girl that maybe he was looking at the time. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was a bad relationship. And so because I didn't know who I was, I felt into that. Like whoever I thought I needed to be for him. So
giving your self-worth to someone else.
Yeah, I didn't know who I was. Like who am I? Like, I guess my worth is what I look like in the mirror, which because I didn't even know what I was supposed to look like, you kind of just black out, you know, you don't really, there was no goal at that point. There was no, I mean, my hair was falling out. I just looked sick. My grandmother would call me a skeleton because she didn't know what was going on. But yeah, I mean, you really have to learn who you are during the process, whether it is losing weight or even gaining weight. You know, I have girls that I train that for the life of them, they can't put like any weight on. So your identity is definitely involved big time with it.
Right. And like you were saying, as far as like you were hospitalized, and if you don't want to talk about it, that's totally fine.
Open.
I know you're an open book. So was that like your family was like, we have to do something, or it got so bad that you like were required, you know, by people?
So with that,
outside of yourself, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
well, the family I really stepped in is my family's amazing. I have like such a good family, and the relationship that I was in was abusive, physically and mentally. And so it was like Stockholm syndrome. I was like, I avoided my family. So they really didn't see until towards the very end that something's going on with her and this isn't right. But when I was hospitalized, it was like, I actually have Crohn's disease. So by making myself sick for the year that I did and forcing food down and then letting it go back out immediately and then not eating, I completely messed up my digestive tract. My intestines are messed up. And
Forever?
It's like forever. So it's like, it's a constant reminder in a way that now that I'm 32 dealing with it, it's like I look at it more in like a positive way. Like it keeps me on track. I have no choice. But it's still that some days where it's like, oh, I don't want to feel this way.
Was it close to like almost like a near death experience, or were you just like, you felt really cruddy?
Well, both. I mean, with the relationship that I was in, it was like that. I mean, it was, and that was a part of the thing of not only am I not feeling good, like who am I? I'm like this, I just feel gross, even though I was just tiny. But then I had no self-worth. And then this person made me think that if he looked at me and he said I was pretty, then that's all that mattered. You know, it wasn't even about what I felt anymore.
Did he know that?
Oh, I mean, he was a horrible person, you know.
Well,
so,
clearly.
I think, yeah, I'm sure he did, you know. I'm like, for sure he did, because it was a game for him, is what it felt like. But I'm still a very young girl. I had the first amount of weight that I lost was 65 pounds, and that was the healthy weight. Like I was transitioning. That was my first time losing weight, and it was a good amount of time that it took me to lose it. And then when I got with him, I actually met him in the gym. And then it was like, he was a former Marine, and he knew what he was doing. So I let him take the lead. And the more I let him lead, the smaller I got. So, but I mean, even after the hospital, it was like, okay, it was a wake-up call to be like, get the heck out of this and figure yourself out. But relearning food and everything too was like,
I'm sure that was really hard.
oh yeah. I mean, it's still, you know, the feeling that you get, I think even with food poisoning, it's a trigger, you know, because you can't, when you have that, you can't help but get sick. But in your head, you're like, is it happening again? So it's something I think for anyone that, because I know people that have dealt with it too. You know, if you're bulimic or you're anorexic, it is something that you carry with your whole life.
Yeah.
It's probably just like alcoholism or any other kind of addiction. Like once you're an addict, you're always an addict, like because you can go down that rabbit hole. So what were things like, as far as like for your mental health? Like I know you're still in the gym, like it's what you do for a living. So you weren't discouraged by doing that. But as far as like the mental health side of things, what were some avenues that you kind of got through that?
Oh man, it saved me, I guess. Like working out for me was, you know, it increases your brain activity, right? So like it gave me my self-worth back. And it wasn't so much of this is what I look like. It's more of like how strong I felt. Like picking up weights and like being able to increase them and set little goals, like whether it be, let's knock out 3 pull-ups, let's learn how to do 3 pull-ups for the month. Like you feel so accomplished, and that's something I did. Nobody can take that away from me. It
empowered you for you
sure.
and not for someone else.
For sure.
Yeah.
And oh man, does it make you feel good?
Yeah.
You know, because you're in control. So that was the one place I knew that, okay, I can control this. You know, like I can choose to have a good workout. Even on the days I didn't have a good workout, I still did it, and I felt accomplished. And so I took my power back with it. Yeah,
I love that.
I love it. I still do. I mean, oh my gosh! And sometimes just now it's at the thing where I can carry all the groceries in one trip. I'm like, okay, look at me. I don't need anyone's help.
I'm a baddie. I'm a baddie.
I still let my husband open up Gatorade bottles, even though I don't need him to, you know, because I have that power.
So and I mean, like, we know you, like you're married now, and like that was like that traumatic story got you to, but did it take you a while to like build trust with other men, like, or just even in relationships in general, because you let someone have so much power over you?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. The relationships like part was that was so hard to overcome. The gym stuck with me because that was me in my element. I really didn't date for, a long time. And then even when I did, it was like, if I felt at any point in time I didn't have control of the date, I was out. Even with my husband, he was just so patient. So, we met when I was 27, but he was just so patient with me. Or if I'd say we have actually, and this is what I tell anybody that's been through that scenario, we have a trigger word, and it's jackal. That's ours. So no one knows what it means if we're out. Aside from I'm being jackaled, and it's just if I'm in a situation where I feel uncomfortable, I use the word, and it's like we'll move,
redirect.
Yeah, we'll get out of this. So it's my safe place. But getting there was, I did not think I could get there. Yeah, at all. I don't know.
Not all sunshine and rainbows. I'm sure you went through a lot of dark to get to the light.
Yeah, but I think now it's really interesting. Even being asked this, because I would even have to think about it. I think because I view life so positively, and I don't know. I don't know. I know it didn't come overnight, but I think it was just when you go through so much, you just have to keep going, and how whatever clicked, it clicked. I don't know if it's, like I said, I have a great family. I've seen a lot of things, whether they be good or bad, but I think what I do too for a living, that empowers me as well. Like helping people, being able to talk to people about it. I worked with the Boys and Girls Country for a while. Yeah, I loved it, like these little kids, they're so just pure, and you want to save them and protect them. So being able to do that with the young girls, that also healed me. So
what a testimony to take something so dark and so heavy and turn it around to what you just talked about.
Well, thank you.
So that's amazing.
Thank you.
Much.
Yeah, and even though, whenever I quit drinking, I went vegan for 9 months, and I felt so weak. So, what are some of the things that, you could, tell people, the people that are watching, as far as, what are the, important elements in as far as nutrition that we should be intaking every day?
Protein, and earlier
I was weak as a vegan. What are you doing?
Well, there's a lot of protein still in vegan foods. I'm not dogging on vegans. Like chickpeas is, good with protein. But and there's vegan protein powders too. But the thing with that, the question though too, is we were talking about social media earlier. I loathe so much of social media, but then I also love so much of social media.
Yeah.
I was just talking to my client this morning about there's a new trend that's what I eat in a day. Stay away from people like that. Only because what works for your body won't work for everybody. With Crohn's, I can't eat, I really try and stay away from gluten. I don't really digest pastas, and everyone's Crohn's is different. But with that being said, I would say protein. If you're weight training, whether you're weight training or not, protein is good. The way I would set up a plate too, this is just how I typically do it, is you want to load, it's the basics, right? I'm very, very traditional with my training. You put the carb, you put the vegetable, and you put the protein. And when you're eating it, you want to eat the veggie first, the protein, and then I'd go for the carb. Carbs are not bad either. But I'm talking about sweet potatoes, not loading it up with,
garlic bread.
Yeah, potato chips, not like that. But not enough people get protein in their diet, and that could be anything from, I would stay away from too many protein bars too. It gets tricky.
Well, everybody's circumstance is different. Every blood type matters,
Yes.
like your body type and what you're trying to accomplish. But even also as far as the carbs and things like that, you're right on as far as the gluten. I think that's a big one. And even just as far as your skin and your inflammation and all of that. But protein, if you actually are getting enough protein, you're feeling full. You don't need that bag of potato. Don't get me wrong. I like tater chips, but I get what you're saying.
You can make sweet potato chips too. Sweet potato, if you like sweet potato, in the air fryer. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah.
I like to make those sometimes. Mm-hmm. Look, I'm human as well. I indulge. For sure. But I think it's definitely a balance. And obviously as we get older too, and people, the misconception is if you weight train, you can get bulky. That is such a misconception. It takes years years, kind of like it. Also, the way bodybuilders are training is not how a day-to-day training session is going to go. You know, like your goals and everything are going to be different. The way they're eating is different. The way they're lifting is different. But women, you need to weight train. You need to be lifting weights. Cardio is good, but you need to lift the weights because we lose muscle mass as we get older. Stability training comes into play. And the reason I'm even in business is because people don't know. A lot of my job is accountability.
It was. I had a regimen, and I'll be honest, I've been off of it. Like for over a year, I was getting up crazy early and walking, and I was making a breakfast smoothie every day, and it was like, it was so healthy for you, but I felt like crap. I'm gonna be honest. I felt like just dog shit by the end of the day, and I'm like, I'm eating well. What is going on? So my husband actually got on the what was it called? The carnivore diet. No, he got on the carnivore diet and he felt so good. And he was like doing so much research on it. And he was like, the amount of sugars that are in food is insane. Yeah. And that's like one of the biggest things. And so I got to looking at like these healthy products that are marketed at the store, and it had tons of sugar in it.
Yeah.
And that was why I was feeling like dog shit by the end of the day.
A lot of smoothies do too, though. I mean, and I'm not saying, I don't know what smoothies you were drinking, but that's the thing. Like, even Smoothie King, it's syrups, it's not real fruit. And you have to also think, if you take it way years ago back when, milk was delivered to your door, it lasted for a few days. Like, why is milk lasting so long? I looked at, my husband got this bacon and I'm like, that's weird. This doesn't expire for another how many months?
Right.
That's not how, that's how it's packed with that stuff. And it's kind of difficult because, the misconception too is, well, getting my kids meals at McDonald's is cheaper than, and listen, I'm not dogging on moms that do that. I grew up with McDonald's and I love my mother, but it's hard. It's not hard to get like meals that are cheap and healthy. Stay out of the frozen section though, or even crock pot meals are good. Like we do those sometimes. Those are really, I don't have the recipe, but it's super good. And it's this salsa chicken. But carnivore diet, I've heard of that a lot. I think that's picking back up again. I want to say
he felt so good. I mean, he had so much energy and like all that. So I mean, he was going to get back on it again because like with the holidays, everybody was just completely out of whack.
Yeah, typically it is. Like this is the New Year, New Me thing, which I'm totally for. Like whatever day you want to start. I think though resolutions are always, I'm not like 100% into them. Because it's like, I always say, it's like if you have one flat tire, would you stab the rest of the three? You can start whenever. But muscle and everything, too, is like a relationship. You have to work on it. And the consistency is key. Now, would you do that diet with him?
No.
No?
I mean, it's just, and it's not because it doesn't sound like appealing and I didn't see the results that he was doing it for like a month. But the thing is because of the amount of travel and things that I do, it's hard to find that. And like, just like you were saying, like moms giving their kids McDonald's, like we don't have those easily accessible, like places to go a drive through when you have a crazy busy schedule.
Well, too, especially in Brenham. And I love Brenham, but we also are limited on like areas to go that do have healthier options. But like sometimes it's going to happen, meal prep comes into play, but to men and women's bodies are also very different, and then depends on what age you are as a woman. Are you having regular cycles? Are you premenstrual? So all these wonderful things that we have to go through that can affect our hormones, they don't. And women also will have a higher percentage of fat on them because we are here to have kids, like to be moms. And we don't have as much testosterone in the bodies to help us lose the weight. And then it feels like we get to a certain age and all we do is look at a cupcake and you feel bloated, so that's fun.
That's the most accurate thing that's going to be said today.
It's fun. But, consistency meal prep. So with social media too, they make all these meals like so pretty for meal prep, and that's just not the reality of it. A lot of my meals I don't post because it's like that actually looks gross, but to me it's good. But Yeah, I mean, diet too. I hate the word diet as well because it's just
It has the word die in it.
It does, doesn't it? But I just think too, it's like, just make healthier choices. And like I said, if some days, like I got Chick-fil-A, I'm not gonna lie, I think it was like Friday or something. We did Chick-fil-A, and is it the best choice? No. But am I human? And did I want it? Yes. Did I have Chick-fil-A sauce? Yeah. But then am I gonna kill myself in the gym the next day? No. I'm just going to go back to the gym and I'm going to have a workout and I'm not going to beat myself up about it. And I think though too, that's what I also had to learn through everything that I went through. I mean, honestly, a lot of the clients that I have, and I hate using the word clients because they're friends, but they have to trust me as well. It's such a relationship. But then watching, and it's men that I train too, people transform their bodies. Are we gonna dance? And their minds though, like, that is powerful. That gives me power. That is why I keep doing what I'm doing. I mean, it's really, really cool. I don't know. I just love what I do.
So one of the things that I'm looking forward to is like, which it's not like I was a massive like follower of him or anything like that, but as far as like social media, I kept seeing it on X over and over, is like RFK coming in and then putting like maybe regulations on the types of foods that are put out there and like what is put in it, because it's just like us in real estate. Like we can sell houses. We can't go out and build, a deck on somebody's house. Like you stay in your lane. And so like, we don't know the types of stuff and the things that are inside of our foods. And there's like a lot of bad stuff just because of a corporatized level of like making it colorful and making it pretty.
Which is like that red dye. Yeah. It's like, how is just like you said, her and I walking down the street, like how do we know what is like detrimental to our body and not,
Yeah, and you typically don't though, right? I mean, but even I think it was, you heard that, I don't know if you've ever heard this, like when people go and visit like the European countries and stuff, they come back with weight loss.
Well, yeah. And like, so my dad was in the military and he would say it whenever he would go overseas. And then like my husband has said it too, being in the military, like you go overseas and then you come back, you're like, oh my gosh, Americans are so fat. Like for real.
No, they are. It's almost, it's not embarrassing, but it's almost embarrassing. I mean, you can even go, I used to tell when I look, I tell my clients this too. You don't need to give up everything. I always ask the same questions. How often do you drink? And it's not from a judgment point stand, but it's also because you want to take some away. So if you're drinking every night, no judgment. If it's a bottle a night, I'm going to be a little concerned, but no judgment. Then let's backtrack it. If you're talking about you drink 7 days a week, let's cut it back to 4. Because you also can't burn any fat in the body if there's alcohol in the system at all.
And plus, it's a depressant.
It is.
And so, like, if you're not only dealing with the physicalities of it, you're dealing with the mental health of it as well. And so you're working through all of that.
But it's the same thing with the dyes and everything too. That makes your body feel crappy. But then you're like, well, it says it was healthy. How do we know? And then all these things are coming out now. Like, I think Snickers has a protein bar.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And I was like, what is this? Stay in your lane, you belong in the candy section. But then as a consumer, especially for somebody that's coming into this lifestyle new, they don't know. And how are they supposed to know? And then, you know what, let me just get on Instagram and see what they say there. And then they see these crazy movements, these crazy meals, and they're like, oh, let me try this. I had a young lady actually, and I'm getting off topic here, but I just thought about this. Bless her heart, she asked me about taking like steroids, basically, like it's like a peptide basically to help enhance her muscles. She's not training for anything. She's 23 years old, but there was an Instagram influencer that literally promotes it with her like holding the syringe, and it's like, this is real, this is what we're showing people. There goes my industry. So
tapping into that, what are your thoughts on Ozempic?
Oh, girl, oh, it's such a...
It'll kill you. It will.
It's not a good thing. Oh, gosh. There was what is it, Fettermine or something that came out years ago that's not giving people a heart. So Ozempic, I do have clients on it, actually.
Really?
Look, you are an adult. I'm an adult. if you say, Jay, I'm going to do this, and I'm like, I don't think you should, I'm not going to sit here at your house all day and be like, don't do it. I'm not really for it. But then look, that can also change. If you are severely overweight, I mean, you're not like my 600-pound life or something. Well, maybe, yeah. And you want to take it. But I have people that are not like that are taking it. The problem with Ozempic too is what's going to come. What's going to come out about it? That's like, you know, these people that aren't diabetic are taking it, and then for a while, I think people that actually needed it because they were diabetic weren't able to get it. That sucks.
Or the price is way up because the demand is just so high.
There's that, and there's there's another one.
Semaglutide, or
there's so many. There's one with an M too. But my thing with that is, are you losing weight? Yes, but here's what I've seen. Clients that have tummy issues with it, they're not eating for 24 hours. They can't use the bathroom for a week. They have headaches. Somebody had back pain. But it's consistent. So then I go and I come to train, and again, there's multiple clients here. So if you think I'm calling you out, it's probably the other one. But, you know, I go to train and they're not feeling good. And then how can I train you when you have no substance in your body? I'm actually causing you more damage. Your body's going to eat itself, you know, like your muscle. It's like, I don't feel good doing this. Oh, you're lightheaded? Okay, well, let's not work out today. But what you're not doing is learning your lifestyle change. Because what happens when you're done? What, do you just gorge out?
Yeah, I've wondered that too.
Yeah.
And it is like, are you doing a temporary fix for a long-term problem?
That's the thing. And I've also seen, a woman, basically, she lost a drastic amount of weight in a quick period of time. Now what happens is the body just drops. You know, I mean, you're not maintaining any muscle. Have you lost weight? Absolutely. If you're feeling better, cool. But typically they're not feeling better. If anything, they're more insecure in a sense because they've lost so much muscle as well. It's just dead skin, basically, looking like it's hanging off the body. Now, can we work to build some muscle to maybe pull that back? Yes, but not so much. You know, so I don't know. Ozempic, I don't suggest it.
But you're not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor, you know. I'm not.
Yeah.
But that's what I tell my clients. Like, I wish you wouldn't, you know, or I do, but to keep up with them, I'm like, what is the dosage that we're on, or because you increase it, but like when you stop, what?
Well, that's my thing. Like, within these 6 months, you dropped, 60 pounds. But what happens when you stop taking that?
Yeah.
Like, do you just slowly put the weight on, or does your body I don't know.
See, I even know of, I guess you can do, and that's what's scary to me, because I did hear from a friend that was on it that stopped, and it's like she took a maintenance shot, basically, because she felt like she was eating too much. And it's like, I think for me, though, it's triggering for me personally. And that's, I mean, maybe it's projecting out on others. I don't know. But I'm like, I couldn't do that. I can't, I wouldn't even consider doing that. I have family members that may have done it. And it's not something where you can't talk to me about it, because I also want to understand, but you have to make it's a lifestyle change. And it's every day am I the best in doing everything for the lifestyle that, no, I'm not, some days I'm like, snooze, good night. I am human. Anyone that's like, I get up at 3 a.m. every day, don't miss a day, they're probably not doing that. That's the same with the girls that are like, I'm not like the other girls, she's crazy, so let's just be honest with ourselves here. But no, I don't know about Ozempic. It's gonna be a no for me. It's a no.
So you said that weight training was really important. Have you seen that guy that is he's all over YouTube, and I'm sure he's on social platforms too, and I cannot think of his name to save my life, but he's small, and he'll go to the gym, and he goes with the heavy bodybuilders, and he'll pretend to be a janitor.
Yes. Oh wait, I just watched. Oh my gosh, now I forget his name. But yes. And then he's like, let me just pick up the weight. And it's 600 pounds of a deadlift. He'll pick it up, and he's just wiping it. Yes. So they did I can't think of his name. That stinks, because I was just talking.
Starts with an A, right?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Well, with social media too, there's so many different people now that I don't even follow. Actually, one of my best advice for people that are suffering with mental health is unfollow anybody that you are comparing yourself to. Mm-hmm. So I really don't have a lot of, and I'm not popular at all on Instagram, but if you'd like to follow me, no, just kidding. But I really had to unfollow a lot of people because I was doing the comparison thing. Not with that guy. That guy's funny and he cracks me up.
Yeah.
But that just made me think about probably I don't know his name is because I don't follow him. But he's funny.
Yeah, he's got that mop that's like crazy amount of weight. And then this guy's he's like, you will hold that. And then he's like, wow, it's so heavy. I started watching him and I was like dying laughing because there's so much stereotypical things that we deal with in society. Not even just like the bodybuilders. It's like the ones that are judging. It's like, you really don't know how mighty this guy is.
Yeah, isn't it? I was just like, okay, so I think in the early 2000s, like I'm a 90s baby and stuff, it was like really skinny. Everyone was be, the low rise, which by the way, we're so terrible and don't ever bring that back. Or like even like the thongs would be hanging out, like, and we were all like, I want to be like that.
Like the early 2000s, late 90s,
the eyeshadow to here, like we did our best,
crimped hair,
chokers. I still love them though. I can't lie, but the body frame, like it was so tiny. But if you ever look back, there was a reel that was going around that I was like, wow, that's so not cool. And it was like any female that came in for an interview, they would be commenting on her breast or her weight. And it was like, but that's what we grew up with. Mm-hmm. And then we want to talk about where did your body, like, issues or dysmorphia come from? Well, maybe from this. And then it was, let's all look like the Kardashians. Big boobs, big butt, little waist, and unless you have a surgeon that's really good, probably really hard to achieve that. And now we're drifting back out. Those Ozempic came. Every housewife, and I love my housewives, are all basically on Ozempic because they went from like, And if do you girls watch the Housewives? If not,
yes.
you're better. Okay.
I haven't in a really long time.
Do you watch Orange County?
Girl, yes.
And Beverly Hills?
Salt Lake City too.
I haven't watched that one.
You have to.
But for example, the lawyer on there, oh my God, Emily?
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
if you're watching this, Emily, I totally love you.
Yeah, I do too. I think she's hilarious. And I actually love your husband too. You guys are great.
Oh gosh.
But I know she's funny. But she busts her butt.
Yeah.
She really does. And then Ozempic came out and it was like, but that's the thing, right? People that are actually training too, they're like, you must be on Ozempic.
Yeah.
So it's like, you're damned
I swear,
if you do.
I was just telling her, we were talking about somebody, in the area and went from like like, no, but I was just like, what happened? Like, you have like this and it's like, now it's this and it's like something like,
oh yeah,
no videos of like working out, like nutritional changes, like, what happened? Like, what did I miss? Yeah. I mean, things happen in life, but it was crazy.
It's BS is what it is because people that are actually trying, let's say you're not on Ozempic. In fact, and I'll talk about I can't wait to see her Saturday, but see my best friend on Saturday and, she just had her wedding and she was busting her butt, this girl, and she like flawless at her wedding. I mean, gorgeous. But, then she made a comment because somebody she knew was on Ozempic and she's like, it just sucks because here I am waking up early, doing everything I can, trying to basically fight my body to lose this weight for the wedding. And then this person just comes in like, just take a shot.
Just took a shot. And
it's almost insulting.
Yeah.
But like we've been saying is like, in a year from now, in 5-10 years from now, like it's going to be a completely different conversation.
Yeah.
Like of like, hey man, I like worked really hard and I built this and like worked so good and ate well and all the stuff versus like I injected myself with something that was probably not like approved by anybody. Yeah. And like like you said at the beginning, like your body, there's no recovery and like you have to do that. And it's like, if you're doing this to your body now, like, do you think there's going to be a miraculous shot to make you better? Like, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it is. It's a fear. I think for like the girlfriend that's going through that, but to have that, isn't that weird, right? To have that feeling like, because a part of you, I know like a part of you would be like, not you, but like when she was feeling that way too, like how that sucks, I'm doing this, it's the fact that you're even having that thought, because it is unfair, but what are you going to do? But you are right. And I don't want anybody to get sick off this shot. I would hate for that. But you just don't know. And then, is it also worth you having kidney failure? Let's say that happens, so you could lose 20 pounds. Like, just go old-fashioned way. Get on the treadmill, lift some weights, and choose a better lifestyle. And for people that say they don't have time, you do. And I'm not saying it's hard. Like, I'm not a mother, and I have a lot of clients that are, and they work their asses off to make sure that they put enough time in for themselves, because the thing is, they want to be better for their kids. And I'm not saying if you don't work out and you're a mom, you aren't, but you will feel better. You'll be more active. And you're going to create that lifestyle for your kid as well, because they're watching you, Yeah. And I don't know. There's enough time in the day is what I'm saying. I'm not saying you got to wake up at 3 a.m. because nobody wants to do that. But that's why meal prep and setting yourself up will help. And I think for every mom out there, it's time to put yourself first. So
we need to start a group in Brenham of meal prep day. I think if you've not only got the plan and the outline of how simplistic it can be, but accountability too.
Yeah, I would love that. So when I first started training, I just did boot camps. And I love doing that stuff. And I did it more so in Houston.
Let's not do it now though. It's really cold.
Yeah, no. And everyone has a warehouse with a heater, maybe hot chocolate. Yeah. And a TV. We're not really going to work out. Just
with housewives. Yeah,
girl. You gotta catch up.
So what's one piece of advice that you could give to, let's just play on the busy mom that has a crazy schedule that wants to make these steps to better herself? What's just one thing that you would say to those to even get started or make a plan to?
Be selfish. And I'm only saying that because there's two things in the world that I'm scared of, right? And that's my mother and mothers. And it's because of you did that, you are a mom. But I think as a mom, and this is just from training and being a sister and having sisters that are wonderful moms, is you fall. You continue to, and it's because you're doing stuff for the hubby. If it's not the hubby, it's the kids. Keeping up with the family, maybe you got a dog, and then there you go. So be selfish and put yourself first a little bit, and reach out to somebody like myself if you have no idea what you're doing, or a friend, find an accountability partner as well. I love working out with my girlfriends because it's fun. We're talking, we're working out, and it's boom, you're done. So tell people you're going to start this, but somebody that you trust, but be selfish.
That is so true. That is so true.
That literally plays on the conversation that you and I were having this morning.
Really?
Yeah. That's crazy that you said that.
Yeah, because we were talking. It's one of those things that I think about a lot, is the time with my kids. It's been my son is 14 now. So it's gone by so fast. And I've lived. It's one of those conversations of the moment your child is born, you're no longer you anymore. It's all about that other human for the next 18, 20, 30 years, and so you've lost yourself.
Your identities.
Yeah. And the thing I feel selfish sometimes, because it's no, I actually want to go do this for me. I want to go do this. I want to go to this conference for real estate. I want to go travel here by myself or with a girlfriend, because I'm being selfish. And you can beat yourself up sometimes, but then I think to myself, it goes by so quickly, and they're going to be 18 and on their own and doing the things that we did at that 18 years old. They're not going to want anything to do with you. So who are you?
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose myself in the way.
And that is, you say that it is when I went through my transition of weight to losing weight, whatever weight, it's your self-identity. But I've heard, I think that's it. I don't know again, but I've heard that from so many moms that you kind of lose your identity a little bit. So maybe it's kind of relearning who you are,
and who you can be.
Yeah. Or get him involved. or like, let's say you want to do that, you know, get him involved. But yeah, because when he is 18, girl, he ain't calling. I mean, I love my mom. It is true though, you know, I think, and then as he gets a little bit older is when he'll be like, I miss my mom.
Yeah.
I know that I definitely went through that.
Yeah. I think mothers and daughters are different than mothers and sons. Like you still love them and all that stuff, but it's just like, no, I'm going to out and start my own thing. Like he's ready to go.
You know, I did a thing, actually, one of my clients, this is like my first year of training, but it was about my mom. I know that I was a bratty teenager at one point, and I told my mom, and don't come for me, mothers, that I hated her. And it was like probably like she said, pick your socks up off the floor. And I was like, I hate you. And then I, you know, as a kid, you know, you're like, blah, blah, move on. But I was with a client, and she walked in, and she's just red in the face, crying. And I said, what's going on? And she said, my daughter told me she hated me. And I thought, I am such a bad person. I said, can I have 1 second, please? And I stepped down and called Mom. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I said, I hated you. I don't hate you. I love you. You know, and she's like, what are you talking about? But that's funny.
I think we've all done it, like, you know, or had that experience, like where we have so much anger. I think it's like you hurt the one you love.
Yeah. Well, so now just remember that when you think, oh, I can't be selfish. Just be like, wait a minute, this kid's probably...
No, you know, sometimes I really do. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't really care if you think that I'm mean. Like my job is to do this, this, and this in your life, not to coddle you and tell you it's going to be just fine. Like, because that's a lie.
Yeah. No, like kids need discipline. But like, okay, let's say if you think about your day-to-day, even for you, what time of the day would you girls think that you have time to work out, or even with the kids, and you know, like, or where's your you time in your day? Let me ask you that.
Honestly, my me time right now is like I go to bed really early, but I get up really early, and my husband teases me because he's like, why do you do that? Like, and it's just like, because it's me by myself and no one's asking me for anything. Like to just be in silence. If I want to scroll on my phone, fine. If I want to read a book, fine. If I want to go walking, fine. But it's my time, you know? So mornings.
Mine would be night.
Oh, opposites. Cute. What,
Yin
like
yang.
right before bed? Right before bed?
Yeah, so like usually I put my girls down around 7 and then I'll stay up till about 10:30 just to, even though if I'm really tired, I just need that time to be Kendra and not Mom.
Yeah. So what do you do within that time? It just depends, right? Like, kind of like
watch my Real Housewives.
I swear I was like, just watch a Real Housewives.
Then you gotta watch Salt Lake tonight.
I'm gonna have to try it.
It gets really well. I think this whatever season's on right now is like the best. And shout out to Mary, because we could be friends. But no, I mean it was. So do you get good sleep though? And same for you. Do you sleep well? Okay.
I'm one of those, like, as soon as my head hits pillow, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Like I don't sit there and like think about my woes. Like I know a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But I just like pass out. But if I wake up, first thing when I wake up, I'm like, I got this to do, this to do, this to do, this to do.
Dang, you know what puts me to sleep, which is kind of funny and embarrassing? I think about the workouts I'm going to put my clients through the next day, and like the torture that I put them through with love, like I'm not. But then I'm just like, la, 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 la. You know, then I fall asleep. Yeah. And then the next day I'm like, okay, we're going to get it. But I do like that. I'm more of a morning person. But I do think that's important for you guys both to do, you know? I mean, mine's just when I work out, I guess. But again, you know, I don't have the kids. My clients are kind of my children. And when I say that, I mean, I do train younger kids. One of the kids that I worked with, and I'm so proud of him, but I'm so sad. He's in North Carolina now. He just got committed for a D1 athlete.
Oh, wow.
And I got the phone call that, you know, he got the phone call, and I'm just like, oh, so proud of him. You know, but then I'm like, I'm going to cry. And then he was like, I want to fly you out here, you know, come see me play. And I'm just like, God, you know, that's cool.
Amazing.
That's why I do this.
You know? You are a mama bear.
Yeah,
like there's something different. Yeah.
I know. But I still, like, I don't know. But I do think, yes, going all the way back to that question, be selfish for the both of you. And maybe I just was here to say that to you from whatever conversation you had earlier. And it's okay, though. Don't beat yourself up. And again, I don't know how that feels, not being a mom. But there are some things I do where I know that I'm not actually being selfish, but I feel selfish. So if it's anything like that, let that feeling go. You know, your kids are going to love you.
It's like the mom guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so real for y'all.
Well, I mean, I literally walked in here today. I I'm just one of those people that's like super duper organized. Like I have everything planned out to the T, like in advance. And I know things are going to be a little wonky, but like my entire plan of my weekend, like just was upended because of weather.
Yeah.
And I came in and I was just like, I'm really on the verge of a panic attack. Like really, it's right there. Like, and like I could feel it, you know, that fight or flight feeling. And it's like, I'm going to, cause I had an episode, it's been a couple years ago, like my whole body was going into convulsions because I was so stressed out. Like, and I got over that. And it's kind of like the post-traumatic of like, am I going to go there again? Like I felt that coming on, and it felt really good to have her. She was like, you're fine. Like, it's okay.
Isn't that sweet? Oh gosh, do you ever get panic attacks? Mm-hmm. So I do too. In fact, I just had one right before Christmas. So I've been, I mean, I've always dealt with, you know, depression and, you know, apparently I'm 2 forms of ADHD, which I didn't know there was more than one, but there's only 3, so I'm really ADHD, which is fun.
We are too.
It's like I was like, well, the doctor was all like, we got your test in. She's like, so you're 2 forms of ADHD. I was like, how many are there? And she's like, 3. And I'm like, so I like really, really passed. Cool. Love that for me. But I'm not on anything right now though for my depression and stuff. And seasonal depression is real for a lot of people.
See, SAD.
Yeah.
It's SAD, and it's seasonal affective disorder.
Oh, is that like my life then?
Mine too. And I'm sure a lot of us.
I get more so depressed, and this is so weird for most people, is during the summer. And I know this vitamin D is really good for the soul. If you're ever feeling really depressed and the sun is up, just go sit outside. It sounds silly, on a bed of grass, man. Just vibe.
And in the winter, like, and that's when I had my panic attacks. I went to a holistic practitioner.
Nice.
And she, like, I mean, magnesium, vitamin D.
Magnesium's
like,
great.
All those, like, there's like supplements you can buy that are not addicting.
Yeah.
That like you can notice a major difference.
And see, that's the thing. Because I was put on, this is years ago, Lexapro, and I just felt more depressed.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be numb. And look, it works for some. It really does. I'm on a non-stimulant for my ADHD. That works for me. But if you can try and get through stuff without it, I have. It's not like it's split borderline personality disorder, and it was something that I dealt with a lot when I was growing up. I couldn't manage my emotions, and I get angry, and I get really angry. And now as an adult, I have to, with therapy, you know, I have to learn my count and stuff. So, you know, not every day am I good, but like now I can recognize this emotion coming on, and I'll tell my husband even like, don't respond to me. Mm-hmm. Like, or don't, just give me a second. I need to walk away. But my most recent panic attack was, he was out of town almost every week for the past few and a half months. And it's just been like, dang, this is really hard. And I think the realization, I had a really hard year this year, and then, you know, looking at the Christmas tree, I was on the couch looking at the Christmas tree. My older brother has passed away. He passed away 3 years ago. And I think just not having my husband there for the first year, looking at the tree, and I just kind of went down the rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. And I was like, here we go, it's coming. And I couldn't stop it. I took myself to urgent care.
Yeah,
you know,
I've done that before because, you know, the thing is about panic attacks and happiness is you can talk yourself, because this right here is like the one talking. Like, it's not, somebody's not telling you this, or if they are, you know, then you're in that circumstance. But your head can talk you into more panic attacks and depression. And it seems almost harder to talk yourself into happiness and to mentally be in that position.
Sometimes you're your own worst enemy.
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, think about, so I always, something I always say to my classes, or even, I have a potato squad. That is what my homies that I train, we're called the potatoes. And our chat is a potato squad. And the reason for that is you're like the way you talk to yourself. So I always end my classes with, remember to tell yourself 3 things that you love about yourself every day. Remember to always be kind. And if you make a mistake today, tomorrow, the next, you're just a potato. And the reason I say that is because, like, the easiest example is you go to the store and you need milk, and you get everything but the milk. What's the first thing we call ourselves? We're like, oh, I'm such an idiot.
Yeah.
You're just a potato. You're just a potato. Because you're not kind enough in your own inner thoughts, you know? Mm-hmm. So how can you expect to be kinder to others if you can't even talk to yourself nice? And it's true. It's so true. And again, I'm not perfect. I think the other day I said, oh my gosh, I'm an idiot to my husband. He's like, you're a potato, you know? Because we got to be kinder. And the 3 things every day that you love about yourself. When I first meet a client, I always say, tell me 3 things you like about yourself. And y'all, it is almost sad.
They don't have it.
You can't. But if I say, tell me 3 things you don't, boom, 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 boom. And it's not just physical. And that's what's interesting. Because people see me and they're like, well, I like the way my butt looks. Or I don't like my belly. Or I'm like, but do you make people laugh? You have really nice eyebrows. Or, like, did you do something nice today? I think, you know, like, so it's just, I want people to be able to love themselves more. I'll make them stand up in front of a mirror and say, give me 3 things you love about yourself. Go. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I think this morning it was that I didn't have any drool on the pillow when I woke up. I love that, you know? So it could be anything. But, so just remember, instead of calling yourself the negative names that you do, you can say potato. Now, as far as panic attacks, no, that is real. And it is hard to get yourself out of that. But I think on a day-to-day, you know, it's so easy for us, especially as women, to stand in front of a mirror and just be like, every imperfection that we see, we zone in on it. Versus saying, but you know what? Bitch, I'm fierce. We don't do that enough.
Yeah.
And then social media makes it harder. Women on other women make it harder for no reason. Society makes it harder. Like, we have so many things working against us, and we're just like, dude, I just want to get through the day. You know? Like,
yeah.
So
I just want to be left alone at the end of the day and, like, just, like, be in peace.
Yeah.
But happiness is, like, such a, like, that's something to strive for.
It is.
It really is.
And, you know, I always say the most beautiful thing in the world is nothing to do with, like, myself at all or anybody. It is when it's cold outside, but you feel the warmth from the sun. I think that is the most beautiful thing ever. So on days like that, I will force my husband, like, we both do it together, we'll just go sit outside. I mean, just little things like that. Like, I think you have to find happiness in the littlest things, you know, and it's one of those things where when a tragedy happens, it's like, oh gosh, I have so much, you know, I have to love more and stuff. And we feel like that for a little bit, and then you forget.
Yeah.
You know, you take things for granted. And again, I'm not perfect. When my husband was gone, you know, I missed him. And I said this to a wonderful client of mine. Her name's actually Daniela. And this is the wife she owns with her husband, Milk and Honey. And so I just said, I just miss Sean. She goes, well, what a blessing it is that you get to miss him. And I just thought, oh my gosh, you're right.
So right.
Yeah. What? And now he's home, and I'm like, can you just pick your slippers up? Just get them off the floor. No, but it is. I think it's all about perspective.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, like, from both of you, like, what are some of the modalities that you do to get through the panic attack? Like, if you are alone and you don't have that somebody.
Oh. Do you know? I'm like, I gotta think. My dog has helped me, but you said alone, so.
Well, that's a good one, like an animal or like that kind of companion. But then I think, like, whenever I was going through my panic attacks, that, like, they would have, like, the meditations, like, on Spotify or something like that, but I wanted to, like, scream, and then, or even, like, counting.
Yeah.
The breathing, like breathing in, I'm like, I can't breathe, you know? It's crazy. So, I mean, there's so many modalities, and some work for some and some don't work or work for others. So I was just curious, like, with y'all going through it.
The breathing will help me on my my personality disorder, but I have to walk away and do a slow count of 10 to 1. Sometimes it's praying for me, or like I close my eyes really, really tight, and I'm just like, okay, just wait, you know, or screaming. My husband's caught me a few times when I get home and I just scream in the car, but immediately when I get home, I'm like, I'm good, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, can I phone a friend? Because it's one of my sisters, my older sister helps me tremendously. And I'll just call her and just start sobbing, and she's like, okay, let's talk through it, you know, and that helps. Now, being alone is mostly my dog then, and completely alone, girl, you see Lilo and Stitch where she screams in the pillow? Yeah. That's me. Just screaming.
And one thing that I've caught myself doing is I'll try to like, okay, Kendra, you're good. And I'll just sit there and feel my pulse. I'm like, you are good. You're alive. Everything's fine. And I don't think I've had one where I've called you, but she has been in person with me a lot. And she just grabs me and is like, dude, you're good. Like,
I love
it's just
that, though.
someone telling you it's okay to feel what you're feeling. Like, you're not crazy. Like, you're okay.
Yeah, it is that, though. That is cool, though, that you guys can. I mean, it's good, though. And that's pretty much all it takes, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird sometimes.
It was really weird. Like, the very first one that I had, like, whenever I'll never forget it, because like once you have that one, you're like, oh my God, I went there. And it was a weird circumstance. It wasn't like I wasn't even like stressed to get me there. Like it was, I don't even really know what triggered it, but my entire body started like convulsing really bad. And I was alone at the time. And, the circumstances right before there, like, I'll just be transparent about that. Like, COVID was going on, and I was like anti-mask, anti all of it. Yeah. Sorry for anybody that it offends. Same. But I went into a circumstance where the people that were there were all wearing it, and like I was being like judged. I think that was a lot of what it was. Yeah. But anyways, like I was like, I'm just gonna go alone and go to bed. Like, I'm just gonna go in this room and go to sleep. So I went in there, and then that's when I started like convulsing, and I was like, I'm gonna throw up. Like, I think this is gonna happen. And my daughter came in there, and she's like, "Are you okay?" And as mom, I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm fine." And she like knew, and she just rubbed my back, and she's like, "You'll be all right, Mom." Aww. And she was like 9, and I was just like, I knew in that I just told myself, I was like, "You're safe. You're fine. Get the F over it." Like,
that's so cute, though.
Yeah. And so she's so little, and she made such a big difference on me, and so I'll never forget that.
Yeah. No, I love that. I know, that's so cute.
I know. So like now that she's getting older, like going into the teenage years, and I know that the social pressures and all that are going into it, like I owe her that debt of like, you're safe, you're fine. Like, so I'll tell her that when she's like super worked up and super emotional. I'm just like, you're safe. Is this going to affect you next year? Yeah. It's going to affect you in 5 years, 10 years. And she's like, no. I'm like, then get over it. Yeah. And so, yeah.
My mom would say that. Yeah, I love that. As for moms, though, you know, because again, when I was growing up, social media wasn't a thing that my mom had to worry about. How do you guys navigate that? I was just wondering, because
that's so crazy. Is like, I was just talking to Michelle on our team. She's not here today, but I was talking to her about that, because like when her kids, like they're early 20s, and I was like, how did you navigate it? Because like when I was growing up on social media, like it was like the wild, wild west out there. Like it.
You're not wrong.
No, I mean, I think we had AIM.
Yeah, AOL.
Oh yeah, yeah.
AOL AIM.
And it was that. The coolest thing was capitalization, lowercase capitalization. Or
oh yeah.
Be right back.
TTYL.
Yeah. But you were fighting your siblings for the computer for like 10 minutes. And it took 10 minutes to even get it up.
With the
okay, no, same.
Yeah.
But yes,
yeah, so I mean, like, it was like the Wild West. And so then now, like, I see the things that happen, and I'm like terrified. So I feel bad because I'm like a helicopter parent with my kids, but I'm honest with them. I'm like, you may think that that's a little kid that you're talking to playing this Roblox game, but for real, it's probably a 50-year-old pedo sitting over there. So I don't know.
Or me, because my nephew made me download it, and I don't know what I'm doing. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how to use Roblox.
So I was so anti it because I think to myself, like, why is it free? Like, why is it free that you can play all these games? And so all their friends were doing it, and this was like 2019, 2020, like right when, and so like when COVID happened, I was like, I'll let you play. So I went into the parental controls, and I changed like all the stuff to like no live conversations and things like that, because I'm not dumb.
Yeah.
And then I got on there, and then it was still running, and it was like, what's your age? What's your gender? What's your location? And I was like, whoa. Wow. And there was like kids answering it. And I was just like, no. So, I mean, I told my kids, I was like, we're done with that. We are so done with that.
Yeah, no.
Mm-hmm. No.
I think it was ASL.
ASL.
Age, sex, location.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wonder how many, well, I don't know. Because I would put that out there. I'm like, you know. But as a kid, like, you know, you didn't know.
As a kid, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we were all guilty of that. Oh, yeah.
But
like, we were so naive.
Instagram either. Some of the stuff. And so, you know, your algorithm is obviously affected of what you're looking at. And I've had to go through and put things that I'm not interested in. Because even for, like, a lot of my algorithm, unfortunately right now, and praying for everyone in California, is California, because I was watching them.
Yeah.
I think when I was going to Galveston, it was so embarrassing. Shark attacks. I'm not going to be a victim of a shark, you know. But most of the time, it's puppies are working out, and even some of the stuff. I was following a fitness model she's a trainer, but for a while, and then it became kind of overly, in my opinion, maybe I'm just kind of getting older, sexualized. Where I'm like, I don't need to see your tatas, girl. You know, like I'm trying to watch you lift, and it's just like oozing to her chin. So you know that stuff I unfollow because, like I said, I don't want to put myself up. I don't want to see it either. I have my nephews. I'll grab the phone. They want to play. You see a lot of stuff though that it used to not be like that either. Was it in landscaping that you were like?
Well, like you said, just everything is so sexualized. Jesus. Like back when we were 14, we were making very awkward like music.
Those bracelets,
I
like
wore
BFF
bracelets. I wore
a
fedora, and I remember being Marvin Gaye, singing with my sisters, "Ain't them on high." You know, it's not the same.
And then you see these 14-year-old girls that look like 22-year-olds with their
weird.
crop tops.
It's freaky.
It is, and it's just like it's a love-hate relationship with social media.
It
like
is.
You said.
It is, and it's scary. I think you know it. My husband and I have talked about having kids and stuff, and I know this is almost silly because I think so far in advance, but I'm like, that's the stuff that scares me.
Yeah,
because I would beat anybody up that like. I don't want my kid to be exposed to that. I don't even want to be exposed to some of this stuff. Yeah. Then OnlyFans came out, and it's like we're gonna over sexualize now. There was
feet.
Yeah, well, or at the gym though. There's people that over sexualize the gym equipment, and it's like when people have never worked out or they're seeing this, they think this is actually happening. That's not gonna make them want to go to the gym.
I have to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you know Joey Swole?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on him?
Okay, mixed. I like him. But there's a few of the influencers that do that, right? Like calling people out. I like him, and then sometimes I'm like, well,
too far.
Too far, yeah. But people are too far. People are getting too far. You know, I'm sorry if you're recording yourself in the gym, get out of the way.
Yeah.
This is a public...
and don't get mad for somebody interrupting your video.
I'm going to walk in front of your camera. Like, get over it. Like, what are you doing? Or they're like, listen... It's the people that get mad about, look at this gym creep looking at me. Like, first of all, he's probably not looking at you. Second of all, if your butt wasn't showing and hanging out of your shorts and you left something to the imagination... You probably wouldn't look. I'll probably look too. Because I'm like, what the hell is that girl wearing? Why are you doing that? Like, every trainer's different too. I personally... Like, I'll wear tanks and stuff to the gym, but I have clients that they're not there to look at me.
Right.
And I'm also not there to be like, look at what I look like. Don't you want to look like this? I look like a bum half the time at work because you're not there to look at me. You're there for the education I have to teach you and also for the relationship. Joey Swole, mixed. I like him, though. Yeah. He definitely, if you've seen his testimony, he's got a cool story. Yeah. But sometimes... I think it's the people that do the comments that are like, dude, chill. You guys are being aggressive. I don't hate anybody. I have my own opinion, you know? And that's why it's an opinion. Right. But yeah, no. Now, if people are posted up in the gym recording, I like two problems with people in the gym. People that do the recordings and get mad at you for stay out of the way. This is a public gym. I'm paying as well. And the guys that need to be in a group of 10 and hover around each other. Just, break it up. It's a little weird. You don't need that many spotters, is what I'm saying.
I got you.
Yeah. So what are kind of your ambitions for 24, like you said, sucked. Yeah. I'm with you on that. 24 sucked.
Aww.
Good things. Yeah. But it was just like bam, 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 one thing after another. So for 25, what are the things you're looking forward to or new innovations that you're seeing?
I definitely want to spend more time with my husband traveling. We just went to Georgia, and then that was beautiful. For myself, this is so funny because we just talked about social media. I need to get better about posting for social media. I've been talking out loud that I wanted to do a boot camp of some sort, and getting people together because I want to do like a networking event through it. So doing a couple of those. I want to do something also with my mom's ice house, something out in Travel Hill where it's like a beer camp where we do a workout and we all go in for a token of a beer. So really getting more involved in the community as far as what I do. I think that's really it. I just want to get more involved with people around. I love Brenham. My car wouldn't start the other day, and I had not just a client pick me up, but take me to her house and get me jumper cables. Like, I want to give back.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's really my goal, is just to really give back and really teach people and get people more excited about what I do and make more friends. Because I feel like I'm missing a lot of opportunity still out here.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
No, please.
Are you in Brenham?
Yes, girl, I'm 4 minutes from you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I might pull up all the time now. I didn't realize how close you were. I'm right next to. Should I put this out here?
No, like where you live? No. It's like ASL.
Oh my gosh. No, but I am in Brenham. We've been here for, I think like 3 years now. I never thought I'd leave the city. I know I'm not from Brenham. People, what is it called?
We aren't either.
Bob? Oh, okay.
Yeah, bibs and bobs,
Yeah.
and
But I do love Brenham. I've had nothing but, I've met such great people out here. So yeah, I'm here to stay.
Very cool.
Disrupt the towns.
That's what we do.
Stress you out if you see me coming.
This is so fun.
I love this.
Yeah, so that's one thing that we love doing is like there's so many Texan transplants. Like we're not from Texas at all. And then like I originally didn't start here. And then I came here about 3 years ago. So
I didn't realize that then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're just disruptors.
Yeah, but for, the good of it. There's just a lot of growth coming too, though. I mean, I'm also like really excited for it, but then I'm like, no, stay out away from us, but I'm not from here. Mm-hmm. But I want to do something where, we have all these parks and stuff here. I just want to get networking. I want to get to meet people. I like to watch businesses grow that are local. I want to grow. I need to get better about learning how to use the TikTok. I'm not good at it. The TikTok. I'm not good at it. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping that they would just ban it, so I never had to get good at it. That was out of pure laziness. But I need to get better so I can put myself out there, because I don't want to be, I'm in a saturated market, unfortunately, with training because of social media, but I want to go through it as a no BS training. Mm-hmm. So where it's just more raw and less like, look at my beautiful plate of food that I probably won't eat, I don't know. That's my goal, so I guess.
There's so many opportunities, and like we can be a part of the change, all the stuff that's coming in a good way. I love it. Mm-hmm. Do you have any final thoughts or anything that you want to share before we get off of here?
Probably not. I would just say, moms, remember to be selfish. And for everyone else, remember to tell yourself 3 things that you love about yourself. Remember to always be kind. And if you make a mistake today, tomorrow, the next, you're just a potato.
Just a potato.
If people want to reach out to you and maybe have a consultation, where can they find you? Besides social media.
Well, I was going to say at Brenham Fitness, South Market Street. I also do in-home training sessions. I'll come to you. Or social media wise, Instagram is Brown Girl, Jay. Or just maybe somewhere downtown Brenham, walking the streets.
I love it. Well, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to reach out to Jay, we can connect you as well. We're at TexasTrioTeam.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care and keep living your best life.
I was like, wait.